How many people really know how to whine? Are you really good? Are these the champion whiners? All right. Now, this is a story about a girl. And I like to read it, especially if they're younger people, because I get a chance to whine. Will you do me a favor? Will you do me a favor? When I get to the part about whining, if I really whine, if it's good whining, will you give me a thumbs up? Can you do that? Let me see a thumbs up. Now that's if I'm whining very well. If I'm not whining very well, I don't want a thumbs down. Just don't say anything, okay? And I'll try to get over it. But if I'm really doing some of my better whining, thumbs up. Is that okay? Is that deal? Okay? All right. And I'll show you the pictures. You might not be able to see them very well. But this is a book called Don't You Remember? How many people's parents never remember anything? She sneaked her hand up. They never remember anything. You tell them something, they say next time comes, nothing happens. I know, it's awful. It's awful. Well, this is a story about that. It's called Don't You Remember? Can you see her picture? Her name is Tate. Can you see her picture? I think she's sort of pretty. Once upon a time, there was a 4-year-old person who remembered everything. But I remember, she would say. Her name was Desire Mary Tate, but she liked to be called Tate. And when she grew up, she was going to work at a plant, just like her daddy. This is where her daddy works. Does that look good? Looks hard. She's going to work at a plant, just like her daddy. In the mornings, Tate would be awake as soon as she heard the first bus pull up at the stop, and she would run into her mom and daddy's room and jump on the bed. It's next time, she would holler, it's next time, wake up, it's next time. And usually, her daddy would turn over and say, what's the matter with you, Tate? But it's next time, Daddy, Tate would answer. Remember you said next time you'd take me to work with you. Don't you remember? And usually, her daddy would just turn back over and say, next time, girl, go on back to bed. And he would put the pillow on his head. Dag, double dag, Tate would say when she got back into bed. She remembered everything, and her daddy didn't remember anything. Tate's mama worked at a bakery, and her name was Desire also. She would bring home bread and cracked cookies for her family every day. How does that look like a place to work? It's nice. So much for white-collar jobs. I think that looks, do you think that looks good? I do too. And almost every day, when her mama was walking up the front steps, Tate would open the door and holler, Mama, did you bring it? Did you bring it? Did I bring what, Desire? Her mama would smile. A beautiful black cake with Tate on it in pink letters. Tate would answer, remember you said you'd bring it next time you came. Oh, Desire, her mama would always say, go on in the house. I'll bring it next time I come home. And Tate would stomp back into the apartment and punch her brother Marvin in the leg and say, dag, double dag, real loud. She remembered everything, and her mama just didn't remember anything. Tate's brothers' names were Marvin and Louis and Sammy. Marvin was 15, and his job was to take care of Tate while Mom and Daddy were at work. Next year, when Tate went to school, he was going to go back too and graduate. Louis was 13, and he was in the 6th grade. Sammy was 12, and he was in the 6th also. Sometimes Marvin and Louis and Sammy would be in the kitchen talking and laughing and drinking coffee, and Tate would lean on the table and whine and whine. Now, I'm going to try my best whine. Tate would lean on the table and whine and whine. Let me have some. She would want, I want some too. Let me have some too. Oh, thank you so much. Go on, Tate. Marvin would laugh. You can have some later. But it's later now. Somebody told me you're supposed to say, but it's later now. Tate would argue. Go on, Tate. Marvin would say, we didn't say you could have some now. And Tate would give a good kick on the chair leg and holler, dag, double dag, real loud while she was doing it and run off into her room. She remembered everything, And her brothers never remembered anything. One morning, Tate woke up as soon as the first bus pulled up at the stop. But she didn't run into her mom and daddy's room. She just lay there for a minute listening to the bus. Then she turned over and opened her eyes. They won't remember anyway, she whispered to herself. They never remember anything. Tate lay for a long time watching the circles on the wallpaper twist around and fall down the corners of her room. She had just gotten to counting to 9 for the third time when she heard somebody knocking on her door. Desire, are you all right? It was her mama. You feeling okay, Tate? It was her daddy. Go away, Tate said real loud. Go away. You all never remember anything. Come on out here, girl, Marvin and Louis and Sammy said all together. Go away, Tate hollered, and pulled the sheet over her head and closed her eyes real tight. Poke your head out, Desire, and see, said her mama's voice. Tate opened her eyes and peeked her head out from under the sheet. What do you think she saw? What do you think? What do you think she saw? I don't know. She jumped up and turned around and around on the bed. Mama was carrying a big, black, beautiful cake with Tate on it in pink letters. Come on and drink some coffee with us, girl. Marvin laughed. Hurry up, Tate, if you're going over to the plant with me. Daddy laughed. Oh, Desire, you didn't even remember your birthday. Mama laughed. Tate leaped off the bed and ran out the bedroom door. Did too, she yelled. Did too, dag and double dag. I remember everything. That's the end of that story.